Hey guys, Ryan here. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the new meta in Season 1 Reloaded of Warzone, and we're going to begin by talking about the close range meta because that's the thing that changed the most. So the top 3 close range meta guns are going to be the Fennec, the STB-556, and then last and certainly not least, the Vaznev 9K. Before this patch, guns like the Fennec, the STB-556, and the Vaznev were almost made obsolete by the existence of akimbo pistols that just killed faster than these up close. But after those got nerfed in this last patch, guns like the Fennec, with the build you're seeing in the background, are definitely going to become meta again, and that's why I'm going to put the Fennec number 1. This build gives you good recoil control, it gives you insane damage, and good mobility. The only issue is how fast you burn through bullets. Even though this has a 45 round mag, it's very tough to kill more than 2 people with this thing, and that's a huge downside. However though, there's actually a gun that kills faster than the Fennec, and this is the STB-556. So this is an assault rifle, and the build I use for it's a little different because I use it with the canted iron sight, so you have to keep that in mind. But this is the build that I use, you're currently seeing in the background, and as I said before guys, this is the only gun in the game that actually kills quicker than the Fennec now, and this makes it an absolute monster up close, and this is why I'd heavily recommend to give it a go. I love this gun with the canted sights. That's a little iron sight that makes it aim to the side, but if you don't like that, you don't have to use it. That's just a personal preference. But to me, this is the only gun that can kill quicker than the Fennec. It has better range than the Fennec, and the other good part about it is you actually feel like you can kill 3 people with 1 clip, and that's really nice to have. So moving on from there, we're going to go into the third gun we're going to talk about, and this is going to be the Vaznev 9K. The Vaznev 9K kills way slower than the STB and the Fennec. I shouldn't say way slower, but it kills noticeably slower. It doesn't have that oomph, it doesn't have insane recoil, but it just has a little bit of everything. It has great mobility, it has good damage range, it has good damage up close, it's very easy to use, and overall, I just find this to be an absolute slept on gun in the current meta. I love this thing, and with this current build, the only thing you have to be worried about is the stock. If you find that the stock is just too much, has too much recoil, even with the canted sights, then just change it. The stock is good, but as you're seeing in the background with me shoot with the canted sights, it actually gives it a good bit of recoil, but it also gives you insane mobility, so that's the trade-off you have to make yourself. As I said before, I changed this stock to just the normal aim down sight, crouch speed, sprint to fire type stock, and that just feels amazing as well. So as I said, if you're having too much recoil with this thing, just change the stock. So we're now going to move into the long range meta, and we're going to begin by talking about the TAC-56, number 2 is going to be the RPK, and number 3 is going to be the Kastov 7.62. In my eyes, I'm not really sure why the TAC-56 wasn't nerfed in this last patch, but it's okay. I enjoy this gun. This thing has been probably the best long range gun since the inception of Warzone 2, and right now it's going to probably maintain its top spot as the best long range AR to use. Now I'm not saying there aren't better guns because I do think that the RPK and the Kastov 7.62 compete in their own right with this gun, but it's just important to remember that this gun, it has almost everything. It can win gunfights up close, it can win gunfights in the medium range, and it can even win gunfights long range. The recoil is not like Warzone 1, it is a little hefty at long range, but everything outside that long range zone, it is amazing. It is easily probably the best AR in the game, and I'm heavily going to recommend it for everyone. But at number 2, we are going to have that RPK I mentioned because I love this thing. So with my current build, there is a little weird thing about this build I have, and let me just explain. So this build has a good bit of visual recoil inevitably, and this can make it difficult for some people to use, but it's only really visual recoil. So this is tough to explain to people, but it's just fluff. As long as where you're shooting, you just pull down on your first 4 to 5 shots, you're going to be almost perfectly accurate that entire time. If you just don't pull down and you kind of just let the recoil follow the visual thing, it's going to be tough to hit shots and not that good. But with the RPK, with this little trick, it becomes into a melt machine at 50 meters, a melt machine at 75 meters, and it's easily one of the best long range guns I've ever used in Warzone 2. Now, as I said before, the only issue with this thing is it's an LMG, guys. It's a little slow, it's a little hefty, but this thing is amazing in terms of recoil and damage, and that's why I'd heavily recommend for people to try it. And that's going to take us into our third AR, and this is the Kastov 7.62. So for me, This is a weird little middle ground, but I like it because of how good it is up close and in the mid-range. It has a slower fire rate than the TAC 56, which can somewhat be an issue. It's not as good in the long range as something like the RPK, but it has a great feel, it has good damage, and there's just something about it I love. When I talk about a lot of guns, I always use the term feel, and this thing is the king of feel. It feels amazing to use, and that's why I'd heavily recommend for you yourself to use it, because it feels amazing. Just as the TAC 56 feels good, this feels good in a different way, and that's its main benefit. Anyways, guys, these are the 6 main guns you probably should be running in the Season 1 Reloaded. I'm not going to get into snipers yet because I leave those for my sniper support videos and all of that. So we're going to leave that for another day. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you enjoy the new Season 1 Reloaded of Warzone. And I hope you just have fun with it. It's been Ryan. Hope you have a good day. Peace.